A 2.5 acre art canvas. Some 200 different pieces of art will be beamed out of the building as the series continues for 2 hours a night, 5 nights a week for 10 months a year. The exhibit brings two of Chicago's strengths, architecture and public art, into one spectacular event. That's our time for now. News 3 at 5 starts right after this.
You'll clean. Right now at 5, the names of two people found dead inside a Madison townhouse have been released. What members of one of the victims' family is saying about her.
It took 163 games, but the Milwaukee Brewers are the National League Central champions. We'll have fan reaction from Chicago.
And how a new trade agreement between Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. is affecting Wisconsin farmers.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with us for News 3 at 5. Rain totals have been rising all day.
Let's get a look at the weather now with meteorologist Dana Fulton in the Weather Center. Dana?
Hey, right now we are looking at showers just continuing over the last several hours. It has been a soggy start to October, stormy even for us as we are seeing some lightning moving through. This is just a look at the last 3 hours for us. Right now, a little closer look to central and southern Wisconsin. These showers seem to be moving through fairly quickly, but we are still seeing some very heavy rainfall for some isolated areas. Also, again, those thunderstorm concerns for us. Now, we do not have any flash flood watches or warnings for us in effect throughout most or all of Wisconsin, but we do have a warning just in that northeast corner of Iowa until 10:45 this evening. And as you can see, that rain just continuing to move east-northeast. So we will be watching that southwest corner of the state very closely as more showers continue to move on through. In the last 24 hours, we've already picked up several inches of rain for much of the area, anywhere from 2 to 2.5 inches near Platteville, transferring over into Iowa County. We're just looking some areas close to 3, even 4 inches, and then about 1 inch to 1.5 inches for the northern edge of Dane County. So it has been quite a soggy start and a cloudy day as these showers continue to just rumble on overhead. We're not in the clear just yet. Downtown Madison dealing with some drizzle right now. Light showers expected downtown for just a little longer. It was a cool day, highs in the mid-50s for us. We should be in the mid-60s for afternoon highs. Looking ahead to tomorrow, we do have the chance for some isolated showers, as you can see, through much of the day. But we'll take a closer look at that forecast for the rest of the week in just a few minutes.
All right, Dana, thank you. We are learning more about two people found dead on Madison's east side Saturday afternoon.
Police tell us it's likely a murder-suicide after investigations indicate 39-year-old James Tony Sykes shot 34-year-old Sherry Sheree Waller and then himself. Our Madeline O'Neill sat down with Waller's family, who have an important message to share today. Madeline?
Susan and Eric, Waller's family members are still in disbelief that their beloved sister, cousin, and mother is gone. They describe her as a funny, bubbly woman who loved dancing, food, and most importantly, her children. Waller was a mother of 5, 2 who were there at the time of the shooting, according to family members. Now, Waller's family is speaking out against domestic violence, including her sister, who says she was on the phone with Waller when she heard the gunshot.
I'm a victim of domestic violence. September 29, 2010, me and my sister was stabbed by my ex-boyfriend. I had a skull fracture, cracked rib, and my lungs collapsed. September 29, 2018, I lost my sister. Exactly 8 years. My best friend is gone.
Family members we spoke with say Waller didn't tell them Sykes was abusive, but apparently did confide in a coworker. They urge anyone in an abusive relationship to seek help. Madison police say Sykes has previous domestic crimes and was legally not able to buy a gun. Waller's family does have a GoFundMe page set up to help with the kids and funeral costs. We'll have that link on our website.
Madeline O'Neill in the newsroom. Maddie, thanks.
Today also happens to be the first day of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and the day End Domestic Abuse Wisconsin releases their homicide numbers. In 2017, domestic violence claimed 62 lives here in Wisconsin. That's one death every 6 days. That number includes perpetrator suicides that stem from domestic violence. Statistics show firearms remain the most common means of killing someone. We will have more on these numbers tonight on News 3 at 6.
A Madison man and teenager accused of bringing a gun to a fist fight near La Follette High School and shooting a 16-year-old last week were in court today. Cash bonds were set for both 17-year-old Jamie Hayes and 21-year-old Juan Briggs at $50,000 in Dane County Court. Briggs, who allegedly fired the gun, was given conditions that he may not possess firearms and cannot be near La Follette High School.
The other side of this is the fact that, as Mr. Lee says, there's an allegation here that he popped off several rounds, actually striking a high school student. That's a pretty serious situation.
Both men have not yet been charged. Their initial hearings will be scheduled for Wednesday at the latest. It took 163 games, but the Milwaukee Brewers beat the Chicago Cubs to become National League Central champions.
But of course, it was not an easy journey for the Brew Crew. Our Jay Wilson joins us with more on what it took for Milwaukee to come out on top today. What a thriller.
Rained here all day, but it stayed north of Chicago. I think the Cubs would have wanted some of that rain. On Labor Day, the Brewers were 5 games behind the Chicago Cubs in the National League Central Division, but the Brewers have gone 20-7 since, including winning the National League Central tiebreaker at Wrigley Field this afternoon. It was a classic playoff game, 1-1 in the 8th, when Lorenzo Cain tattooed one right up the middle for a base hit. Orlando Arcia, who had 4 hits, scored. Ryan Braun added another RBI to hand a 2-run lead to Josh Hader, who got the final 6 outs. And here's the last one. Anthony Rizzo had homered earlier, but this one didn't quite get there. Keon Broxton gets the final out. The Brewers win 3-1. They earn a couple of days rest before the National League Division Series begins Thursday night at Miller Park.
You know, 8 in a row to end it, 7 in a row just to get to this game. That's a thrill, and we earned it. You know, you can't say we've earned it. That's the bottom line.
That's a great feeling. We show. I mean, nobody believes in us, and we show this year is going to be a big year for us. We've been battled for this moment the whole year, and we finally got it. Now we got to keep going.
So the Brewers won't play again until Thursday. They won't know their opponent until tomorrow night. The National League West is also playing a tiebreaker for the title. The Dodgers lead Colorado 4-0 now in the 6th. The winner of that game plays the Cubs in the NL wildcard game tomorrow night. Then the winner of that at Wrigley Field tomorrow plays the Brewers in Game 1 of the National League Division Series Thursday night.
Been a good long while since we've been there in the postseason.
2011.
Distracted a lot of people today in newsrooms and workplaces. Hey, we were glued
That's
to
my
it.
job to
That
watch
was
these
exciting.
things. You guys.
I know, you got an excuse. We admit it.
Thanks,
Thank
Jay.
you. Well, it was a game that had many Brewer fans around here glued to their sets for much of the afternoon.
Many more made the trip to Chicago's north side to try to create Miller Park South. Our Rose Schmidt is live at Wrigley Field in Chicago to tell us what the mood was like. Rose?
That's right. I've met people from as far as Oshkosh who came here today hoping for a Brewers win. And of course, they were not disappointed, very excited and happy by the outcome of today's game. But of course, there were thousands of disappointed Cubs fans who are still kind of gathering around me today. And just about half a mile from here, there is a home away from home for Wisconsin fans. It's a bar called Will's Northwoods Inn, and it's packed every time there's a Badgers, Packers, or in today's case, Brewers game. There's a mix of people traveling down from Wisconsin or people who live locally who support our state's teams. Kevin Cruz is the general manager, and while he himself is a Cubs fan, he appreciates the Brewers as well.
It's kind of like a sibling rivalry, like you and your brother went to a different school, and so you're fans of a different team, and you know there's a lot of respect between these two bases, fan bases, and so I think that's a big plus.
There's nothing quite like the reaction from those Brewers fans after the game ended. Lots of chanting, "Let's go Brewers," and people saying what a spectacular season so far. And of course, it's not over, and those fans are even more glad to hear that. And the Cubs and the Brewers will both be playing another game this week.
What a fun afternoon in Chicago. Rose Schmidt reporting live for us. Rose, thanks.
Next at 5, dairy farmers around the nation have voiced their concerns over a failing industry.
A new NAFTA trade agreement reveals Canada is opening its dairy market to U.S. farmers. Our Jamie Perez spoke to farmers from both the U.S. and Canada, and she has their reaction about what this will mean for them.
And the dairy market in the U.S. is not very good right now.
But it's about to get better. At least that's what a lot of U.S. dairy farmers think.
We've got to do something to turn things around because we all have to eat.
A new NAFTA agreement means Canada will open its dairy market to U.S. farmers, meaning our farmers can send over more milk products.
That's amazing.
An amazing feat for many, especially for Donna Eberling.
It could save our farm. So, sorry, the milk prices have been really bad.
And for Sherry Simers-Peterman.
Well, I'm thrilled. I think it's a good deal. I think it'll help the U.S. dairy farmer. I think working with Canada is good for both countries.
Obviously, you just heard a lot of U.S. dairy farmers are very happy about this trade deal. But what about the other side? How do you think Canadian farmers feel about all this? Well, we asked.
Yeah, it's worrying us a bit.
While other Canadian farmers around didn't want to be on camera, many felt the same.
15% of your exports are 11 times bigger than our whole dairy industry. So we could open our borders and not milk any cows in Canada, and the U.S. would still have too much milk almost.
Overproduction is and has been the issue. Canadian farmers say they can see how it would be beneficial for U.S. farmers.
We need it desperately.
But it won't solve the issue entirely.
There's more cows in the state of Wisconsin than there is in all of Canada.
He says giving the U.S. a greater market share hurts their entire system.
It just you kind of feel the everything gets tighter, you know? You feel the walls kind of closing in a bit.
Canada has a complex dairy system where every farmer gets a standard promised paycheck. They say this new deal will disrupt that. Until the deal plays out, it's too early to say what the future holds for either country's dairy market. In Madison, Jamie Perez, WISC News 3.
Now, Governor Walker released a statement earlier saying, quote, "This is a big win for Wisconsin's dairy farmer." Meanwhile, Congressman Mark Pocan says, quote, "It is clear that many missing details must be resolved before we can determine if this deal works for middle-class families."
There's more to come tonight on News 3 at 5. When we come back, a reality check on Governor Walker's new ad about Tony Evers and taxes.
Well, let's check out Wall Street. The first day of the month of trading sends the Dow soaring almost 200 points. The Nasdaq lost 10. The S&P added almost 11. We'll be right back.
That'll be
Governor Scott Walker and State Superintendent of Schools Tony Evers are both rolling out new policy plans today. Governor Walker an increase to a tax credit for low-income seniors. Evers with a set of plans to look at redistricting and the state's job creation agency.
But in their ads, the candidates return to familiar themes. Political reporter Jessica Arp has this look at taxes in tonight's reality check.
Incumbent Governor Scott Walker has been trying to contrast his record with that of challenger State Superintendent Tony Evers. He's not calling it an attack ad, but it does go after Evers on taxes.
With all the attack ads these days, it's easy to forget that more people are working this year than ever before.
It's true that more people are employed in Wisconsin than ever before, nearly 3.1 million at last count.
Our schools are some of the best in the nation, and property taxes, they're lower than when we started.
This needs clarification. Wisconsin is in the top 10 in the country for graduation rates, but when you look at other factors about schools, it doesn't rate quite as high. U.S. News & World Report recently ranked the state 16th for K-12 education. As for property taxes, the Fiscal Bureau reports that property taxes on a median valued home are lower in 2018 than they were in 2010. But that doesn't necessarily mean property taxes on your home are lower. Depending on your home's value or whether your school district, city, or county may have raised taxes, possibly because of changes in state funding, taxes on your home may be higher.
Tony Evers, well, he'll raise property taxes.
This needs clarification. As part of a plan to provide $1.6 billion in funding to public schools, Evers is proposing to raise revenue limits for districts or how much they're allowed to raise property taxes. That doesn't mean districts would do so, but they could if they weren't bolstered by new state funding.
Raise income taxes and raise gas taxes by as much as $1 a gallon.
This also needs clarification. Evers has said he would get rid of the state's manufacturing and ag tax credit, which could raise income taxes on those who claim it. 85% of those who do make more than $500,000 a year. Evers has not said he would support an across-the-board income tax increase. As for the gas tax, Evers has not said how much he'd be willing to raise the gas tax, only that, quote, everything is on the table when it comes to road funding. I'm Jessica Arp with this News 3 Reality Check.
If you have an idea for a reality check, send it to us at realitycheck@channel3000.com. The heavy rains are affecting the end-of-the-day commute.
Our Keely Arthur live in Madison now, taking a closer look at things out there. Sounds like rain. Keely?
Hi, you two. I'm at Midvale Boulevard and University Avenue, one of the busiest intersections in the city, especially during rush hour. As you can see right now, traffic is moving steadily, lots of cars, but nothing serious to report right now, and no flooding. But as we have seen in the past, there has been flooding in this area, most recently in August during the historic flooding. Now, engineers say they are well aware of this trouble spot, and they're trying to do some things to help the situation, including adding a new storm sewer drain in addition to the one that's already here. They say adding that drain will certainly prevent flooding in the future. Problem is, though, that's not going to happen until 2021, so we still have a while to wait until this situation is really fixed for good. So if you are watching anywhere right now, or especially in the Madison area, and you do see any kind of flooding or anything as you're driving out tonight, make sure to follow that golden rule, turn around, don't drown, and stay safe. Back to you.
Yeah, Keely, thank you. Good to see right now because that intersection is often so
Always.
flooded.
Yep.
Good to see it's holding up for now. All right, so let's talk weather. Let's go to the backyard patio. She's got the umbrella out. Dana Fulton. Oh, dodging some raindrops out there, Dana.
Absolutely. If I didn't have the umbrella right now, it would be quite a soggy situation out here for us, guys. It was very stormy for our first day of October, and we're going to continue to deal with storms and showers overnight. Just in the last 3 hours, we've had the rainfall sliding over central and southern Wisconsin. Some very heavy storms mixed on in there. Nothing severe for us. We do have a slight risk for severe weather through the rest of the evening, but we don't have any watches or warnings for us right now in Wisconsin. The heavier showers do seem to be in the southwest corner corner. That's the area that's already seen over 2.5 inches of rainfall for some parts of Iowa County, anywhere from 3 to 3.5 inches of rain. Much of Dane County still under that 2 and 2.5 inches of rainfall so far today. And the further north you go, those numbers get a little smaller. Now notice, there we go. We have that flash flood warning just now extended, as you can see popping up on our screen right now. That flash flood warning until 8:15 this evening. And that is because of all of the rain that we have seen and what is ahead later on today. So as Keeley just mentioned, turn around, don't drown. It's not some little coy phrase that rhymes for us. It is something that's certainly very important, as this water coming down very quickly, accumulating on roadways that may already be seeing some light flooding. Again, that flash flood warning in the southwest corner until 8:15 this evening. And we are going to continue to watch to see if any more flood warnings or watches are issued, as this front just south of the area continues to just stay south of Wisconsin and slide east as it does, driving a lot of moisture overhead. We're expecting to see anywhere from another 1 to 2 inches of rainfall in the next few hours. So we are going to have heavy showers for us overnight, then becoming a little more scattered for us early in the morning. Starting off tomorrow with a cloudy sky and a few isolated showers certainly possible for your Tuesday, though most of the day will be dry, just overcast. Looking ahead to Wednesday, we're looking at a few clouds in the morning and then a very warm afternoon. So throughout the rest of the day and into tomorrow morning, again, some isolated areas could be getting anywhere from 1 inch to another 1.5 inches. I think these totals so far are what we're seeing there. A little on the low side, because we do have quite a bit of rain coming down very heavily, not just sliding overhead as light showers, but we've had some moments of very heavy rainfall today, and we're going to continue to see that over the next few hours. That slight risk for severe weather. Most of it is to the south of Wisconsin, but we still do have the chance to really see some heavy storms, and the threat there, of course, the potential for some flash flooding and maybe even some hail. We did see some hail earlier today, small hail, but not really the chance because it's so cold to see it coming through later on today as well, and some stronger wind gusts picking up. Downtown Madison, we are dealing with some light showers currently. No lightning for us right now near Madison, so that's why the umbrella is okay right now. But it is just a little soggy and a little chilly outside. Temperatures in the mid-50s for our afternoon highs, and we should be in the mid-60s for our afternoon highs. So it's a little below average today. Overnight lows starting in the 40s for us. We're currently still sitting right there at 55 because of the cloud deck overhead. Really not expecting to cool down too much overnight. Just a few more degrees with that mostly cloudy sky and some scattered storm showers possible early tomorrow morning. Otherwise, we'll be in the mid-60s, expecting a little more seasonal day for us tomorrow, as we aren't expecting the showers really to linger all day long. And the showers possible later on in the evening, Tuesday into Wednesday. Wednesday will be much warmer for us and quite windy. Wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour possible on Wednesday. And our shower chances stay kind of off and on as we head through the rest of the week and into the weekend. Quick look at our traffic. Because of the rain, again, things may be driving, or people may be driving just a little bit slower right now. Of course, we want to keep everybody safe. This is 12 and 18 right at Park Street. A lot of water on the roads for us currently. But as Keeley just mentioned, we aren't seeing any incidents right now for us in downtown Madison. The Beltline currently going only 26 miles an hour westbound, 20 eastbound for us. So slow as we go both ways. Dane County, though, again, no major incidents or accidents to report at this time. If you're traveling from the Beltline to Janesville, 28 minutes. Middleton to Sauk City, 17 minutes. And then downtown to Sun Prairie will take you about 20 minutes right now. All green, though. No major delays, but we do still have these flood concerns as we head through the next few hours. So I'm going to head back inside right now and check out the latest updates for us from the National Weather Service, but we're going to continue to monitor this rain throughout the rest of the evening.
All right. Thanks, Dana.
And there's more to come on News 3 at 5 up next. Renewable energy coming to the Dane County Airport. We'll tell you how when we come back. Welcome back. Dane County Exec Joe Parisi announcing a new installation of 20,000 solar panels at Dane County Regional Airport today. It's part of his executive budget.
In a partnership with MG&E, the site of the panels will be 50 acres. They will power a quarter of the energy for all county-owned facilities. According to Parisi, this project is part of the county's push to implement renewables.
We know that climate change is real, and unfortunately at the federal and state level, we're not seeing a lot of movement toward addressing that. But that doesn't mean there isn't a lot we can't do on the local level.
Also in Parisi's executive budget, $42 million in infrastructure improvements and lower property taxes.
Stay with us. We'll have one final check of your forecast in just a moment.
Will you
Rainy start to October.
Absolutely, very rainy for us. Right now, we do actually have a flash flood warning for Grant County until 8:15 this evening. So that's an area that's already seen quite a bit of rain. A few isolated portions, over 3 inches of rain so far, and we do still have a little more on the way for us overnight. Looking ahead to tomorrow, temperatures will be in the mid-60s, a little more mild than seasonal for us, with shower chances increasing again later on Tuesday evening. Wednesday, the warmest day of the week by far, close to 80 for a high, stormy and windy, and we're going to continue to see showers on and off for the next stretch of days into next weekend even. Just some rain in the morning and then overnight, and then breaks for us intermittently throughout the afternoon.
All right, Dana, thank you very much. We'll have more updates in 30 minutes for News 3 at 6. CBS Evening News is next.